Why, hello there. My name is Meta, and this is going to be a very different video. Because something big is just about to take place at the time of this recording, anyway. In about 3 or so days, Kiryu Coco will no longer be a member of Hololive. Now, for those of you who don't know about Hololive or Vtubers in general, you don't really care. And this video is kind of made for you, in terms of helping you kind of understand why it's a big deal and why I think you should watch Coco. But for those of you who do watch Vtubers, maybe you were already in a rabbit hole to begin with, or I pushed you in with my admittedly not as great video essay on it, you know the importance. And this video is meant for you to reminisce and kind of just think about her and talk about her. So, a bit of context before I start really making this video. And this is going to be a very rambly video, very unscripted video, unlike my video essay that I made. This is very rambly, so I don't know how long this will be. You can put me in the background for whatever. You can put me in the background and whatever. The stuff on screen doesn't really matter as much. But Kiryu Coco is a member of the VTuber group Hololive, the biggest VTuber group in the world, yada yada. You've seen my video. And if you haven't, you should go watch it. And she decided, based on, according to official statements, she decided to graduate from Hololive, which is a very, very nice way of saying she's leaving. She's quitting Hololive, and she's no longer going to be a member of the company. Now, there are many people who think otherwise. Many people think she was actually fired. I wouldn't blatantly disagree with you, but you know, I can talk about that in a bit. But about a month ago, she made her announcement video that she indeed was leaving. And when I watched that video, I couldn't help but really think about everything about Coco and about, like, VTubers in general. So this video is also kind of meant for the people who watched my first video that I'll admit isn't the greatest. It could have been better. And watch this video to help so I can, like, drive my points in a little more and kind of talk about my points a little bit more. When I watched that video of her announcing her retirement, I started thinking about her and what she's done and how she's changed both Hololive and VTubing, and to a lesser extent, the content creation scene in general. And an idea kind of popped in my head that Coco, to me, is the 1 in a million VTuber. Now, what do I mean by that? When I think of 1 in a million, this idea that I totally didn't just come up with, I think of a person or persons who showed up and just fundamentally changed the way you thought of a piece of media or idea or anything. And to me, Coco is that for VTubers. Now let me tell you a little backstory, her origin story, I guess. Before Coco showed up in Hololive, and I could be wrong in this, but this is the impression I got from Hololive before I knew of Coco. Before Coco showed up, the general idea of Hololive was an idol group. I mentioned this in my previous video. The idea for Hololive was for each member to basically be an idol. Now, idols are is a very Japanese concept. I don't think we really have that. We don't really have anything related to idols in the West. Nothing to that extent. The very, how do you even explain idols. Very, like, pure, innocent, cute, mainly female. I mean, idols are obviously female, and they're cute, and they're supposed to be idolized. They're supposed to be put on a pedestal. They're supposed to be these characters and these people that you love and can, like, look up to. Or something like that. That's the impression I get, anyway. As you can probably tell, I don't necessarily like idols. I don't like idol music. It's not for me. I like my sad, depressing, edgy, hard rock and metal that you hear from a shitty garage band. And that's kind of the impression I got from Hololive before I saw Coco. I just kind of thought of them as like, oh, they're for weebs who, you know, want anime waifus to be real and to be a reality. And to an extent, that's true. To an extent, that is very, 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 very true. But then Coco showed up and kind of took this, I don't want to say samey, but very formulaic type of company where every VTuber at the time was more or less the same. They didn't really evolve very much. And then Coco shows up and just throws a fucking grenade into the room and just says, "You deal with the mess. I'm gonna go do my own thing." That's kind of what she did. She showed up and just did all of these things, hosted all of these streams that you would never expect from any other member at the time. You wouldn't expect that. You wouldn't expect her type of streams. Excuse me. You wouldn't expect any of her streams from, like, Sora, Tokyo no Sora, or Roboco, or any other member. You would not see any of that shit until Coco showed up. What do I mean by this? Well, like I said, a lot of the members were basically idols, which means they didn't do a lot. They were very family friendly, if you can kind of use that term. I guess you can use that term here. They were very family friendly. They didn't do a whole lot of, like, risque stuff. They didn't do a lot of adult stuff. They didn't swear often. They didn't do a whole lot. They played, you know, very basic, you know, kid-friendly games, and they just tried to be, you know, cute and adorable for you to throw your money at, right? Coco wasn't that. At least that's not what she is. She's like the opposite of this. She showed up. Her last name is based off of a Yakuza character. A character from the Yakuza video games. Who, you know, that whole series is just absurd, and you're a character who beats the shit out of people, in the most, you know, unrealistic anime fucking way possible. And it's amazing. And that's kind of Coco. Like, she did the fucking weirdest shit that you would never see from anybody else on Hololive. She would, like, one of her shows that she had, Good Morning Coco, Asa Coco, whatever. The way she started those streams, she didn't say, like, oh, good morning, blah, 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 whatever, like the super cutesy shit that you'd see from other VTubers. No, she said she would start the stream by saying, good morning, motherfuckers.
Good morning, motherfuckers.
That's how she started her, like, main show at the time, is saying, good morning, motherfuckers. And that's what she did. She did stuff like that. She swore constantly. She, you know, made sexual jokes. She let the chat just fucking go insane. She had all these fucking weird ideas that, like, no one thought of at the time. She made a whole show to the very end of her career where she would go on Reddit and just look at shitposts and memes that the community made, and she would react to it and just talk about it, sometimes, most of the times, with other members who don't do that kind of stuff. And just, like, she would make other members say things they wouldn't say on stream. She would make people, not make them, but, like, coax them into saying motherfucker or, you know, dumb shit like that. Like, that was her thing. That's what she did. And it was like a, Coco was like, what, like, that stuff really, how do I describe that? It was kind of like it just came out of left field. Like, no one expected it. I didn't expect it. I didn't know what like any of that shit was, what Hololive was at the time before I saw Coco. Because Coco was the first VTuber I saw. I just thought, you know, they were basically just idol groups, and they were just anime characters, and that was it. But then I find people talking about Coco and reacting to Coco and then watching clips of Coco, and I end up watching clips myself because the fucking YouTube algorithm just loves VTuber clips right now. I would watch Coco's clips, and I just genuinely thought, this is fucking hilarious. These clips and these streams that I'm seeing, like, this is, like, funny. Like, really fucking funny. Which I for some reason didn't expect. I didn't expect them to be funny. I expected them to be, like, adorable and cute and shit. I didn't expect them to, like, make, like, dick jokes and say the fuck word. That's what I do. That's fucking... I do that stuff. I don't expect to see that with, a bunch of anime girls. I do that shit. But that's what happened. And, surprise, surprise, if I liked it, a lot of other people liked it. A lot of other people. So much so that Coco was... I can't remember the number off the top of my head. Coco was, like, the top 5 most super chatted creator on the YouTube streaming service. Like, she was up there, along with her other Hololive employees or whatever. She was, like, top 5. She was insanely popular. And there was a reason for that. And the reason for that was that she was fucking weird. But not in the way that people expected. She was weird for Western audiences. And that's, I think, what really, 1, kickstarted her career, and 2, kickstarted a lot of Hololive in general. And I'll get to that in a bit. But what I mean by she catered to Western audiences was, 1, she was one of the first, if not the first, VTubers in Hololive to actually know how to speak English fluently. In fact, she was like, I think she's native to America, right? She's Japanese, but she's like American native or whatever. Point is, she speaks English fluently. And that really helps, obviously, because most clips of VTubers need to be translations. They need to be translated from Japanese to English. Not most of the time with Coco. Sure, she mostly spoke English because she was a Japanese, in a Japanese group, but because she could speak English, she knew the kind of weird culture that the Western audiences have. Like the type of comedy that the Western audience finds entertaining. And she provided that. She provided those weird kind of Western-centered type of entertainment that most other Hololive members didn't really do at the time. Like I said, she cussed a lot. She made a lot of sexual jokes. She did skits. She did, like, full-on, like, machinima-style skits. You don't see that shit in Japan. At least, I don't think you do. You see that a lot in America, obviously. We used to, anyway. And she had, like, this whole gag going on where she was, like, the president... She was, like, the CEO of, like, this whole company called Coco, and there's, like, multiple things, which include, like, an insurance company that's, like... meant to basically give you, like, a free life, but it costs, like, $1 million per minute or some shit like that. Or fucking, and it's, like, even they would sell shit like butt plugs. Like, I had no idea that shit, that you could, like, that she could get away with that shit, and 2, that they would even do it in the first place. But they did, but she got away with it, more or less. And she did it. And because of that, and because of the way that just the kind of person she is, a very, I don't want to say extroverted person, because I don't really know her too much. I just watched a couple of her clips, but she's a very, talkative person. She can be with people. She can be around people. She can talk to people. And she can kind of feed off of the energy of people and can, like, do the same to others. She can, like, kind of energize people to be a bit more social than they might not usually be. And because of that, and because of her overall success, and the way that she did things, and the way that she was to other people, many other members started to follow her. They started to do the same thing that she did. She started, like many other people, started to do more risky content, so much so that there is kind of like a running joke in the community, in the community of people who watch Hololive. in that there's like more or less two groups of people now in Hololive. You have the people who, the VTubers who are true to what Hololive was meant to be, aka Yagu's dream, because that was like the whole idea. Like, you can look that shit up. The CEO wanted to make VTubers on Hololive more like idols, and there are members who are like that to the bone. And because of Coco, there's now an entirely other group of members in Hololive who are not that. They're the antithesis of that. They make all of these jokes, and they cuss, and they do all of these crazy fucking things that you would never see from an idol. And they would be known as like the Yagu Dream Killers. As far as I'm aware, that started with Coco. And the more you look at how successful Hololive has become and all the things it's best known for and the stuff that people find most interesting, almost everything you can trace back to Coco. And she was either one of the first or the first member to actually do that stuff. And it's crazy. Because it just makes you think, what would happen if Coco wasn't a part of Hololive? Like, she never joined. What would it look like? I don't know. I genuinely can't figure that out. I wouldn't know. I believe that, one, Hololive wouldn't be as popular as they are, specifically in the Western audiences, if Coco didn't join. Two, we probably would have never gotten Hololive English, because Coco was one of, if not the first people to actively say, hey, we should make an English branch for Hololive. We should make a group of VTubers who natively speak English and are meant for English speakers. And thank God she did say that, because holy shit, was that not a fucking success or not? Suddenly you have a group of Hololive members who are fucking killing it, one of which is the most subbed to channel on YouTube, in Gura. She's a member of English, a group that was that Coco helped make. Think about that shit. Would Gura or any of the Hololive EN girls, would they even be there if not for Coco? I don't know. Maybe they would, maybe they wouldn't, but they wouldn't be here probably as fast as Coco, as if Coco wasn't there. I don't know. It's just, and it's funny to think that way, you know? It's just, I don't know. The more I think about what Coco has done, the more I realize, like, everything I love about VTubers and why I watch them, even though I have said numerous times, I don't like anime. A person who does not like anime, I wonder why I watch VTubers. I still think that. I still wonder that. To this day. I made a whole video talking about why I watch them, and I didn't do a very good job, and I think that the reason why I didn't is because I still really don't know. But I know that I watch VTubers because of Coco and what she did and the stuff that she made. And that's crazy. That's like crazy to think that this one person, I believe, got not only me into VTubers, but a shit ton of people. There's probably a fuck ton of people just like me who did not watch VTubers, but watched Coco, found her somewhere, and thought she was fucking hilarious. I'll bet money on that fact, actually. In fact, probably you might be one of those people, but you just don't know it yet. You might not like VTubers now, but if this video makes you a bit interested in Coco, which, if that's true, then I implore you to watch Coco's videos and watch clips of her. You never know. You might be the next person who suddenly goes, you know what? That's fucking entertaining. That's hilarious. I don't know. It's crazy to think about the impact that she had on the entirety of Hololive and just VTubers in general. It's crazy to think that way. And I don't know. The more I think about it, I'm just like, why is she so good? How is she so good? And I think the reason why she was so good was because she was so absurd. And that's kind of something I wanted to point out in the original video, but didn't. At least not to the extent that I should have. Is that her character and the stuff she did was fucking absurd. You never see it anywhere else on the internet. I can't explain it as much, but like some of the shit that she did was fucking just stupid and crazy, and like you would never find it anywhere else on the internet because it just wouldn't feel right. But because of the way VTubers work, because of the fact that you don't know the person behind the character, if you don't go looking for it, that is, then all you know is that these characters exist. That, like, these are just these characters through and through. And I think that's how VTuber, that's how Coco specifically kind of grew to popularity, and how she was able to do so many amazing things was because she was given that luxury. Not luxury. She was given that opportunity to not show her face and just start from a complete blank slate. Where do you want to start? Well, you're going to start by a half-dragon person whose last name is based off of a character from a Yakuza game. That's where you're starting. If you're starting there, fucking sky's the limit, right? And this person also knows how to, dance with her, knows how to, like, belly dance and shit. Don't ask me, I don't fucking know. But that's just the stuff that she did. And it's insane. It's just crazy to think about it. This is very rambly, if you couldn't tell. But I really do think that Coco is very, very special. And I'm very grateful that I got to see her, still doing it. And if you want to see what I'm talking about, because I can only explain so much in this very unscripted, rambly video. I can only explain so much. So I'm going to link a couple videos. You know where to find them. I'll link like a handful of videos, but there's two I really want you, if you're interested at all, even a smidge, to watch. One is a video by someone named Nagzz. You may know him as a streamer, but he also has a second channel called Nagzz Discovers, and he basically reacts to VTubers, and he made one on Coco. And it's a fucking incredible it's an incredible video to help kind of explain, like, just who exactly she is and the type of stuff that she got up to. So if you just need a rundown of, like, who she was, then I recommend that video. And I would also am going to link a video called the Kiryu Coco Experience by I think it's Kabuki Buki. I think I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But it's the video that I saw that made me go, holy shit, this was really fucking funny. This was really entertaining. I'm gonna watch more. I want to see what this bitch is all about. And I fell, and then before I knew it, I was in the rabbit hole and I couldn't get the fuck out. I'm still trying to escape. So yeah, those are the two videos that really got me into the rabbit hole. As well as, a bunch of videos by Coefficient. Someone who I mentioned in my previous video, he was the one who introduced me to VTubers, and Coco was his favorite streamer. So I recommend those videos as well. I'll link those, you know where to find them. But yeah, that's kind of that. I can't really explain very much unless we be here for hours, but that's kind of what Coco was she was this out of nowhere person who took a company and took an idea, VTubers, specifically virtual idols, took this idea and took this company and just went, I see where you're going, right? You're going left. I'm going to go right and see what happens. Turns out going right was a really good idea. And people started to follow. And because of that, we have not only people in Hololive doing stuff very, very similar to Coco, like I've said, the English girls, specifically Amelia, coming to mind, and Kiara, and all those guys, and a bunch of others who have kind of embraced that type of style. First person comes to mind is like Miko and Aki. Those ladies really changed quite a bit since Coco showed up, but also a bunch of VTubers outside of Hololive that really, I don't think would have showed up if not for Coco. I know Zentreya is one of those people, and Zen is like one of, if not my favorite VTubers fucking ever. She's incredible and she's hilarious. She might not have been a thing if not for Coco. I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of all I have for the non VTuber fans, the non-simps. So yeah, that's kind of all I had to I kind of have to think about that. But there's one more topic I really want to talk about, and that's why I think she's leaving. Which is a bigger topic than what Coco did. And it's something. It really is something. So it's time for a story. Time for another story about Coco. And it's not a very happy one. It's one that kind of makes me a little angry. And it might be the reason why she's leaving. So a little while back, probably around the beginning of her career, about a year and a half, maybe a year and a half or so, I don't remember the stream specifically. I didn't watch the stream. I wasn't a fan at the time, but I just know of it in hindsight after it happened. She was looking at her analytics, and she was either looking at her analytics or she was just talking about her analytics, and like the people who were watching, the age group of people who are watching, gender, and specifically the countries who watch her. And she made a passing remark. Maybe it was like 10 or so seconds. But she made a passing remark that a lot of people were watching her from Taiwan. Now, it may not seem like a big deal to us in the West, in America. I didn't think much of it. But for the people of Taiwan, or more specifically the people who are from China, that's actually a very, 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 very big deal. Saying that, I'm not going to get into the politics. I'll just give a brief rundown of what I know, which isn't a lot. But there's this thing going on right now in China where all subsequent countries of China are kind of becoming this idea of like one China. I don't know much about it. I don't do my research. I barely keep up with American politics. Why the fuck do you think I would ever give a shit about Chinese politics? But basically, there's this idea going on in China where it's like every other part that is associated with China or like under the umbrella of China is China, right? And they don't have much independence, right? So, and one of those countries is Taiwan. So, saying that Taiwan is like its own country and not at all related to China in that regard is a big no-no. You can't do that. At least not for China, anyway. Coco, by accident, did that. She acknowledged Taiwan as like a different country from China. I will bet money she did not intend that. I will bet money it was not a political thing at all. But just by the nature of her saying that in that way, caused her nuclear heat. Complete hate from China, from a group of people in China. And because of that, she would constantly get harassed, even to the very end. There would be people who wanted her to get fired. They wanted Yagu, the CEO, to be fired. And all kinds of just horrible, nasty shit would happen, right? So much so that I believe an entire division of Hololive had to be disbanded because of it. Maybe not directly because of that, but mainly because of that. And there would be like everything she did, there would be comments from people in China just fucking burying the shit out of her. Saying things that like would make that like just piss me off, and honestly genuinely would concern me at times, because whenever I would see stuff like that, I would think back to a lot of content creators that I watched, specifically Etika and what happened to him and comments like that, and I was very, very worried because I was worried that was going to happen again. Thankfully, it didn't. Fucking thankfully. But it got to the point where Coco couldn't really be in a lot of things related to Hololive. Any, like, big promotional thing, she really couldn't be in because of the controversy that she was in the middle of, under no fault of her own. And many believe, and I believe it too, that it got to the point where she became pretty much a PR liability, like a marketing liability to the company. So because of that, she had to leave. It may not have been the only reason why she had to leave, but I would imagine it was the big reason. Like I said at the start of this fucking long ass video, admittedly. Thank you if you're still watching, by the way. Like I said in the beginning of this video, according to official statements from both Coco and Hololive in general, this was Coco's decision. She wanted to leave, and she wanted to, I don't know, put this behind her, put this chapter of her life in the past and move on. Right? And if that is true, if that's 100% true, I have no problem with that, right? It's Coco's choice, blah, blah, blah. You've heard this a million times. But there's a faction of people, there's a group of people who don't buy that shit for a second. I know I saw, like, a video from Nagzz Taku, whatever his name is. I don't watch his videos. A video of him talking about the Coco situation, and he was talking about how he doesn't believe that she left. He believes that she was fired. And if that's true, and I can't disprove that. And I don't disagree, and I don't necessarily disagree with it either. I wouldn't be surprised what I'm trying to say is I wouldn't be surprised if we found out 2 months later from a leaker or Coco coming back as an independent, just burying the company, saying, no, this wasn't a decision of mine. I was gone, right? They wanted my ass out. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. But the main reason why she left, according to her, was because she wanted to protect her smile, which just immediately gave me Michael Jackson. Shawn, as soon as she said, I want to protect my smile, I fucking immediately thought of Shawn Michaels because I'm a fucking wrestling nerd. But I thought of that because there's a lot of similarities there. And I could talk about that forever, but I'm not going to. Basically, it's a nice way of saying she's leaving for her own mental health, right? Because she was not happy. At least that's what I'm assuming. Which sucks. That really sucks. And I do genuinely believe that a major part of the reason why she either decided to leave or she was let go was because of the Taiwan controversy. 100%. If not, it's a major component as to why. But whatever we think, whatever I think, whatever anybody thinks, we probably won't know the absolute truth. But all that matters is that she's gone and she's leaving. And probably she'll be gone by the time this video shows up, because this video comes out, because I'm a fucking procrastinator. But yeah, that's kind of the situation that led to all of this. And I wouldn't lie. I would be lying if I said this doesn't leave a bad taste in my mouth. And I am a little I'm incredibly bummed out, but for many reasons. One of my favorite VTubers is no longer going to be there. But second, it's not. I believe it's not in the most, not in the best of circumstances. And it when I thought of that, I just couldn't help but think of Etika, like I mentioned before. I couldn't help but think of Etika, and the emotions that I felt when I discovered that she was leaving was very, very akin to the feeling that I got when Etika passed away. And it was like just this feeling of complete bewilderment. Like, there's no fucking way she's leaving. Like, that's insane. I can't, like, she was Hololive to me. Like, she is Hololive. Everything about Hololive that I love, Coco started, or Coco is, like, the face of. And she's leaving. She's gone. And that's just insane to me. But that's the world we live in. Things happen. Sometimes outside of our control. And the best we can do is reminisce and move on. And it sucks. It really, really sucks. I've seen, obviously I've seen many posts of people saying that, like, this stream that they were watching, brought them to tears. Like, Coco just made her last Reddit shitpost review with Kiara, one of my favorite VTubers. And that was her last stream of her reacting to Reddit memes. And that, like, and that was insane. That was crazy to think. And there was people who were, like, incredibly emotional about it. And I'm sure once her final stream happens in about 2 days or so on July 1st, I'll probably watch, and I'll probably be a little emotional, even though I didn't really watch her streams very much. But yeah, it's just crazy to think that she's gonna be leaving. Like, that's insane to me. But this video isn't meant to kind of be depressed. This isn't meant to be that. This is mainly a video to thank Coco and really acknowledge her as the person that made me think twice about a piece of entertainment that I dismissed immediately. And that's something that I'll always kind of think about whenever I see something that I don't really like. At first, my first impression, like, just isn't good. I'll probably always think of that and be like, well, no, let's give this another shot. Maybe it's actually pretty good. And I'm still doing that to this day. But yeah, that's Coco. That's Kiryu Coco, the 1 in a million VTuber. I hope you guys enjoyed this admittedly long-ass video. It's almost fucking 40 minutes of me just rambling and ranting. I did not expect this video to be very long, but, here we are. I hope you guys liked this. If you did, actually, like, let me know in the comments. I'm thinking of doing more videos like this, of me just talking about things that I think are very important, or people that I think are of that 1 in a million moniker or status. The person, like, things or people who showed up and fundamentally changed everything in a piece of media. I don't know. That might be interesting. I don't know. And I might keep it this unscripted kind of way. It's more personal that way. I don't know. Or maybe it's a fucking terrible idea and there's nobody watching at this point in the video. I don't fucking know. I mean, according to YouTube analytics, people lose interest about, like, 6 minutes into a video, so probably there's, like, 3 people watching. There's already only 3 people watching, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's it. I don't know how to end this video. I don't know how to end videos. I've been doing this for, like, 6 years and I still don't know. Yeah, if you are, I guess I would just say, if you weren't interested in Coco at first, or VTubers in general at first, watch a couple clips of Coco and tell me if I convince you to say, you know what, this is pretty good. Or if you are someone who already watched Coco, then fucking just go down in the comments and just talk. I want to see that shit. I want to see people talking about, what Coco meant to them. I don't know. I feel like that would be fun. just kind of talking and hanging out and just being just kind of remembering what she did, you know. And she's not dead. For all we fucking know, she'll show up, you know, 2 months later, you know, as an independent VTuber, and we're fucking back at square one where we started, doing the same shit. But, you know, now she's doing Reddit shitpost reviews with, you know, the VShojo girls, or fucking Code Miko, or Takahata, or Sea-Dog, or shit like that. If that's true, and I fucking hope it is, then you know damn well your boy's gonna be in those streams, fucking having a whale of a time. I hope that's true. I don't know. Yeah. Alright, I'm done talking. Next video I say will be out hopefully relatively soon. It's coming along swimmingly, but yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed. Go watch more VTubers. They're very fun. They're very funny. In case you couldn't tell by the now two videos, I really want people to watch VTubers so I can just, I don't know, be the simp I truly am. Alright, I'm out. Until next time, stay legendary.